Hey y'all, are y'all like me and having a hankering for some orange chicken? Well, have I got news for y'all. I'm fixing to show y'all how to make it. That is plant-based, whole food, oil-free, and is so delicious. Let's begin. So to begin with, this is very similar to my buffalo wings, only we're not making a buffalo sauce, we're making a yummy orange sauce. So what I have here is 1/3 of a cup plus 1 tablespoon of brown rice flour. If you don't have brown rice flour, you can't find it, like sometimes I cannot find it, you can do an almond flour, a whole wheat flour, an all-purpose flour. This is actually, because my store was out of brown rice flour, this is almond flour and garbanzo bean flour, just a tablespoon of the garbanzo bean. Okay, so 1/3 of a cup plus a tablespoon of your flour, and then it is a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder. Feel free to adjust these to how y'all like it. This is 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. That doesn't want to come out. 3/4 teaspoon of salt and a pinch of black pepper. Again, adjust. Preheat your oven to 450, because sometimes I forget that. So I'm just gonna kind of mix this up just a little bit. This started as a craving for orange chicken, you know, that you get in Asian restaurants, and kind of hit me one day. I bet I can make my buffalo chicken, but add the orange sauce to it, make an orange sauce for it. So give that kind of a stir. This is a tablespoon of soft almond butter, which is not super soft. And then 1/2 cup of milk plus 1 tablespoon. So this is gonna be like our tempura type batter. My bowl's big enough. I'll work that almond butter in. If it's not soft, you'll have to work harder. But ideally, you kind of want it to be about the consistency of pancake batter. You can see how it thickened up pretty good. So now, so this is 3/4 of a cup of just panko, unflavored panko. Into this, we're gonna add a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon paprika, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and a pinch of cayenne pepper, y'all. You'll add a lot of seasonings to this because that's pretty flavorful. You want just boring old panko. So now what you're gonna do, make a mess. You wanna take your baking pan, line it. This is pretty sad looking, but it's my favorite. It's linen, and to me it just gets it crispier than the silicone ones. And even though it's hand washed, it still looks a little rough. So now I have found, you pour this over your cauliflower, but I have found that using my hands is the best. So you want to start with clean hands, of course. Anytime before you cook, you should be washing your hands anyways. But when I stir it, I just find that it kind of breaks the cauliflower up some and doesn't get in all the little nooks and crannies. So I just kind of pour a little, about half, and then I just kind of toss it and then add the other half. Kind of massage the cauliflower, get it all nooks and crannies. Cook evenly. So if you make them small, make them all small. Leave them kind of big, leave them all kind of big. Look at the last little bit. Then seasoned panko. Kind of the same process, sprinkle some, mix, sprinkle some more. And this is why it was so important to get every little piece wet, because where it's dry, the panko is not going to stick, obviously. Ha ha ha, got it. Sorry, Steve, editing this. And the last little bit. Get it all mixed around. Again, adjust those seasonings, you know, if you like it a little spicier, add more cayenne. Cutting out salt, cut out the salt. Okay, so now we're going to put it on our baking sheet. And then we're gonna bake them for like 15 minutes at 450. And then while they're baking, I'm gonna show y'all how to make the orange sauce that goes on top. And then we're gonna toss them in the orange sauce and then bake them another 10, 15 minutes, depending on how big you made them. I like mine kind of big because, I don't know, I just did. And so they'll probably take another 15 minutes, but if you cut them kind of small, 10 minutes to do it. Spread them out as even as possible. And I'm gonna wash my hands because, and get this in the oven and see y'all in about 15 minutes. Okay, so while your wings are in your oven, you're going to make the orange sauce that we're going to toss it in. So that is really sticky. This is a 1.5 cups of orange juice that I squeezed, and that's why that's so sticky. You can use store-bought. I just happen to have a whole bunch of cuties, so squeeze a bunch of cuties, which is fun because they're little. This is 2 tablespoons of arrowroot powder. You could probably use cornstarch if you don't have any arrowroot. I would not use a tapioca just because it can get stretchy as it heats and it's gonna be heated, which is fine if you're making cheese, but we're not. And then this is 3 tablespoons of pure maple syrup. Side note, best place to get that is Sam's Club because you get a whole bunch and it's not very expensive. So you want to whisk this because that is kind of like a cornstarch before it gets clumpy. And then after you get it whisked in, you can just stir it. You don't have to stir it constantly, but it'll start to thicken as that cornstarch or arrowroot, whichever one you're using, begins to activate. And you don't want it like to get super thick because again, we want to pour it and toss it on our wings. And so we're just gonna let this thicken, and that's got about 4 minutes left, and so I'll see y'all in a few minutes. Oh yeah, I have some rice in my Instapot. You can use whatever rice y'all like. That's what I had on hand, so that's what we're using. So just get that going and see y'all in a few minutes. Okay, so the cauliflower is cooked for 15 minutes, and see the sauce is kind of like, I'm trying to think of something to describe it as, kind of like maybe real thin custard. Like custard that's not quite set is kind of what you're going for. So get a clean bowl, a big bowl. Take your cauliflower out. Okay, so now, but that's why I love it. Can you see that, how brown it got it where it was laid up against the bottom? It's amazing. I don't know, I found that like at TJ Maxx, so I'll probably never find another one. Amazon. Okay, so anyways, you want to pour this over it and toss it. I always save a little of the sauce, not a whole lot, but just like a little bit to drizzle over the bowls and the rice. That way the flavor kind of goes through and it looks pretty. So, let me see. I'm not using my hands this time because it's sticky and it's hot. You just kind of want to give it a little toss. Get everything covered. It smells so good. And then we're going to cook it, like I said earlier, another 10 to 15 minutes. Steve likes to put them in the air fryer for a little bit because then they get really crispy and just a pretty golden color. A mess, y'all. Dump it back out. It's kind of softened them a little bit, but don't be disheartened because they will firm back up. The crust will firm back up in the oven again, in the air fryer. So put them back in the oven another 10 to 15 minutes and I'll see y'all soon. So after the cauliflower has come back out of the oven, get your rice. Again, I use wild rice, so that's why it's kind of brown, but you can use whatever rice y'all like. You just take a couple of pieces of your wings. They're so pretty and so golden. Steve likes the kind of darker charred ones. Let's give him those. Oop. I'm making a mess. I can't take a picture of this plate. So, take you some pieces. And then we're going to top it with a little bit more of our orange sauce. Then, on orange chicken with a little bit of green onion. So some green onions. Kind of a lot of green onions. And some red pepper flakes. And there you have it. Whole food, plant-based, oil-free orange chicken. So be sure to like and subscribe and share and try these recipes. I love hearing from y'all. Be blessed, y'all. Bye.